afraid of the name of my presentation. I will speak about work and about technology and about how technology influences our work. Only that. So first, how do we perceive work in our culture? Work is God's punishment. So we lived in the Eden and we offended the Lord, and the main punishment was that we got kicked out and we had to start working. That's how we perceive work in our culture. And that's what I want to talk about in my presentation. We've created two kinds of workers, skilled workers and unskilled workers. That's something that existed already in Egypt. You know, they've built the pyramids with 100,000 slaves, and then there's workers that knew the few tools they had in that times. They knew about algebra, and they are the ones buried in the pyramids, and they used to bury them with jars of beers, and that's the best gift you can give to a worker. While the timeless fears of any worker is like to lose your job because someone is doing it cheaper in another country, or because you're being replaced by someone younger. And I don't know if that's my Tinder profile or no, sorry. When we speak about the popular perception of machines, that's what we get. That it's the representation of Gollum. That's an automated machine that, because of a lack of communication, becomes dangerous. And does that ring a bell? Gollum invented that. So this is a perforated card that we used with the first computers. So you would put that card, then Gollum would read the card and start acting. So sometimes if the name wasn't right, it would kill the wrong person. But anyway, so as I said, we've always been scared of having the machine taking its own decisions. And that has been growing with industrialization. That's a common feeling since the Middle Ages, as I said. So the fact that the machine will stop being, and we might be expendable. That's what you might have heard from, gamers. Well, it's a group of people who started in the UK, the beginning of the 20th century, but it was copied in Spain here. And when we received the first mechanical, revving machines, and people would be losing their job because of the machines. And do you agree with that? Do you think that the machines are replacing us? For instance, a farmer in the 14th century in England would work 215 days a year. And right now, in Spain, we have 132 free days a year. So thank you for these 2 extra minutes. So what does that say? That we're working a lot more than people used to work in the Middle Age. So we have this fear that machines will replace us, and that's not true. We're experiencing that right now. We are those skilled workers that know how to live with machines, and we realize that this is not true. To put that in context, to put a good word in for technology, well, the technology benefits, are obvious, and the population has been has been stable during a lot of times, and then with medical technology and food technology, we've grown exponentially. So conclusions after these 3 centuries of industrialization. So simplifying a bit, we are running a race between our own capacity building and the technology. So as you know, it's not enough to study a degree, because what you study becomes obsolete sooner and sooner, and you need to keep updated, up to date. Sorry. So that's something that always existed, but there's a growing difference between workers that are being replaced by machines, the ones that are working in factories, the ones that are going on strike or are losing their job, and they don't know how to, they don't have other skills. So then there's the other workers, the ones that know technology. Technology makes us more and more important, but we have to reinvent ourselves continuously. We have to keep on learning day after day. So we have worked a lot to create that interesting tools, but in 1 year there will won't be enough. We need to keep up to date. So when I was a kid, I liked chess, and people used to say that a machine could not win over the world champion, but it did in the end. And then another machine won to the Jeopardy contest, and we haven't been able to find an algorithm that can win to Pac-Man. It's difficult to to help a machine understand what's the aim of Pac-Man if they don't get its objective, and they do not understand the gate concept. You would enter through one side and then get out of the other side, and a machine cannot understand that. So you can still not win against Pac-Man. So we can win. Sorry. And there's an interesting anthropologist, David Graeber. He works for the London School of Economics. He had the phrase, "We are the 99%," and he says that there's two kinds of workers: the bullshit workers. So this, there are low and middle level jobs, and we only have them to keep people busy. So that's a bit of like the bureaucracy. When you pay a fine, you could do that easily, but you need to go to one place and then fill a form, and then they send you to some other place to fill another form, and those people could stay at their place enjoying their lives, but we make them work. And then the singular event moderator does the same. A barista could stay at his place, at his own home, but he's still here with us. And if we have the obligation to go to our workplace every morning, it's easier to manipulate those people. And then the real workers. And when they go on strike, they just want to show us that they do something useful, really, like the underground train drivers. Or, you can really feel that. And then consultants that are going on strike, that's a different story. It's more difficult to find the impact of the strike. So, and then what kind of jobs will be replaced by machines? Telemarketers or yoga teachers? Telemarketers, obviously. And the yoga teacher apparently will be very difficult to replace by a robot. So we can all get new skills in yoga teaching. And who will replace, the salesman or the dentist? The shop assistant? Well, the shop assistant will be useless in malls, but we will need the dentist. And this is a bit more complicated. A priest or a pilot. Obviously, the priests will be easier. It will be easier with the pilot. It will be difficult to replace what's spiritual. This is not a real priest. It's just making pictures of priests. Wow, I'll stop.
So this guy is not really a priest. He actually sells the whole paraphernalia for priests. But he isn't a priest. Isn't he amazing? And now let's just focus on those technology workers, all of us here today, and let's see if we have a natural environment. Are we expendable? Well, we are scarce. That's to begin with. If you are a Mexican worker who wants to go all the way to the States, you have a wall, you have dogs barking at you, they send you back to your land. But if you're a qualified worker, if you're an entrepreneur, then you have everything in your favor. They're actually modifying laws in the U.S. Obama was saying that of the Fortune 500, 40% have been created by immigrants or by sons of immigrants. So they're very well paid. Money is no longer an incentive. And actually, they say that the time for you to change works is 1 to 5 years. If you leave after 1 year, that means that you didn't fit in that company. But if you stay for more than 5 years, that means the same, that you haven't found anything outside. And in those companies, they usually have bonus for those 5 years. They think that workers will stay for a maximum of 5 years. And something that's very interesting, they are loyal to their peer network, not to their company. If they ask me, I can say, I work with José Luis Vallejo, or I am going to collaborate with Julián de Cabo. We miss out on that concept of a company. I work for IBM, or no, we're loyal to our contacts. And thus, we have to be motivated in a non-conventional way. And effects on the rest of the population. Would you like to live here? How much would you pay for this? This is a real case. This is a real picture. This is a gentleman who has this flat in San Francisco, and he rents that tent there. And people pay $900 per month. You can take 1 shower a day, and they let you eat inside the tent. So what is happening? That's another effect. That is why there are tensions between qualified and non-qualified workers. The gentrification. Cities as San Francisco, as it has happened in many other cities, start getting filled with qualified workers, and tenants know that they have more money, so rent goes up, and the workers, the traditional workers, have to move out. So a flat, 2-bedroom flat in San Francisco is more expensive than a castle in Aquitaine with a 400 acres land. So you see that some people, some companies are now paying for their employees' rent. And these are just a few data, new trends in Silicon Valley for talent retention. We have the chief happiness officer. We have the CTO, CEO. No, this is someone who's there for people to be happy in the office. And Google, for those of you who know that, you know that they have 22 weeks maternity leave. They help you to freeze your eggs. In Netflix, you can have as many holidays as you want, 4 months, but please come back. And in Pinterest, you even have your bar in the office. You can simply get up when you're stressed and drink a bit to soften the edges. So this is something that you need to understand. Within Sngular people, we want to create tools. We are building solutions for the higher part of the pyramid. We have human resources tools, we have salary tools, but we are working for tools and solutions that will help us find meaning in our work, that will help us get a better relationship with our colleagues. That is key to happiness, to create bonds and commitment. So what are we working on, and how do we want to help you? We want to know what motivates workers, to really make a match between the worker and the company, to know if it's going to last, how certain decisions will impact on your workers. For instance, right now we have in Media at Sngular, we know what sort of impact that has had in the workers. So these are not control tools, but rather communication tools with accessible data for everyone, for the employee, for the employer, for anyone. And we try for new dynamics to be created that are based on the relationship with our colleagues. And that's all. If you need me, here I am. Here you have all of my contact details. Thank you very much.